Waking up 2, 3, or even 4 times a night just to pee isn't normal aging. It's a warning sign. And if you're over 60, ignoring it could quietly steal your sleep, your balance, and even your independence. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how your bladder seems to have a mind of its own? Maybe it's 1 in the morning. Maybe it's 3:07 exactly. And like clockwork, you're pulled out of a deep sleep by that urgent signal to get up and pee. You lie there for a moment, hoping the feeling will pass. You don't want to leave the comfort of your bed, but the urge only gets stronger. So, you shuffle down the hallway, half asleep, careful not to trip over your slippers, and by the time you return, your mind is buzzing, and the clock reads 4:22. Sleep? Gone. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. For so many people over 60, these nighttime bathroom trips are not just an occasional inconvenience. They've become a nightly ritual, something you've simply accepted as part of aging. But let me tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. This isn't just about having a weak bladder or getting old. It's about a common mistake that nearly every senior makes, and once you see it, you'll realize it's something you can actually change. And here's why that matters so much. Broken sleep isn't just about feeling groggy the next morning. Night after night, interrupted rest chips away at your heart, your brain, your blood pressure, even your balance. It affects your mood, it clouds your memory, and over time, it can steal away something far more precious than just sleep. It can take away your independence, the ability to move safely, to think clearly, and to live life on your own terms. But you're not powerless. Today, I'm going to show you the one hidden habit that's most likely sabotaging your nights, along with 4 lesser-known reasons why seniors struggle with this problem more than anyone else. And most importantly, I'll share 4 simple, down-to-earth fixes you can start using tonight to sleep better. You won't need expensive treatments or complicated routines, just a few practical changes that work with your body instead of against it. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand what's really happening and how to reclaim your rest. And if you're one of the many people tired of waking up to use the bathroom every night, I want you to type "Me too" in the comments. You'll see just how many of us are dealing with this exact same issue, and you'll know you're not alone. Now, let's dive into the first and most common mistake. And believe it or not, it has nothing to do with age and everything to do with timing. The mistake is drinking too much water too late in the day. Now, let me be very clear, hydration is critical, especially as we get older. Your body needs water to regulate blood pressure, keep your joints moving, aid digestion, and even keep your mind sharp. But here's the catch. It's not just about how much water you drink, it's about when you drink it. Let me introduce you to Harold. Harold is 73 years old, a retired school principal with a sharp mind and a big heart. He still likes to mow his lawn on weekends when his knees let him. A few months ago, Harold's doctor warned him he was borderline dehydrated. Naturally, he did the healthy thing. He started drinking more water. But Harold didn't like the bloated feeling he got during the day. So he saved most of his water for the evening after dinner, during TV time, and a couple of glasses before bed. Sometimes he drank 6 full cups between 7 and 10 p.m. You already know where this is going. That first night, Harold got up once. By the end of the week, he was waking up 3 times a night just to use the bathroom. He couldn't understand it. He thought he was making a good choice. Here's what Harold didn't realize, and what most people don't know until it's too late. When you lie down to sleep, your kidneys become more efficient at filtering waste. That's normal, it's how your body resets. But if you overload your system with fluids in the evening, your kidneys now have to process all of that while you're trying to rest. The result is something doctors call nocturnal polyuria, which simply means your body is producing too much urine at night. And the more your bladder fills, the stronger the signal it sends to your brain. Wake up, time to go. It doesn't care that it's 2:17 in the morning. It doesn't care that you need your rest. This is where many seniors make the mistake. They've heard that dehydration is dangerous, and that's true. But then they try to fix it in the worst way possible by cramming most of their water intake into the end of the day. They think, better late than never. But the truth is, your body can't handle that flood at night. The solution is simple but powerful. Shift your hydration window. Start your day with a glass of water. Have a cup with every meal. Sip regularly. Through the morning and early afternoon, but after 6 p.m., begin tapering down. And in the last 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, only take small sips if you're thirsty, never full glasses. That one change alone, just adjusting the timing of your water, can drastically cut down how many times you wake up to pee at night. Imagine that. No new pills, no complicated therapies, just a smarter way of drinking water. But water isn't the only piece of this puzzle. Even if you've got your hydration timing under control, there's something else that could be waking you up at night. And the surprising part? It might be sitting right in your medicine cabinet. Let me tell you about Linda. Linda is 68. She's one of those people everyone loves, kind, gentle, always ready to help out at the library where she volunteers. A few years ago, she was diagnosed with high blood pressure. Nothing unusual, very common for her age. Her doctor prescribed a little white pill, told her to take it each evening, and sent her on her way. At first, everything seemed fine. But within a week, Linda noticed something strange. She was waking up 3, sometimes 4 times a night to pee. She thought maybe it was stress, maybe her age, maybe just bad luck. Never once did she connect those sleepless nights to that tiny white pill. But here's the truth. That pill was a diuretic, what's often called a water pill. And diuretics do exactly what they sound like. They help your body get rid of extra water. That's good if you're holding fluid, or if your blood pressure needs to come down. But if you take it in the evening, you've essentially scheduled your bladder to go into overdrive at exactly the wrong time. Here's the science behind it. Diuretics tell your kidneys, flush more water out now. The effect usually peaks within a few hours. So if you take the pill at 7 or 8 p.m., guess when your bladder is filling up? By 11 or midnight. And once it's full, it's not waiting until morning. It's waking you up. And the tricky part is this. Most people don't even realize they're taking a diuretic. It's just one more pill in the weekly organizer, swallowed without a thought. There's no big warning label saying, this might keep you up all night. So you end up thinking it's your bladder, or your age, or something you ate. And meanwhile, the real culprit is the timing of that medication. But here's the good news. You may not need to stop the medication at all. You may just need to shift when you take it. In many cases, moving that pill to the morning or early afternoon is enough to completely solve the problem. Same medicine, same benefit, but now your bladder isn't screaming at you in the middle of the night. So, what can you do? It's simple. Ask your doctor or your pharmacist, is this a diuretic? If it is, what's the best time to take it so it doesn't disturb my sleep? Sometimes the fix is as small as changing the clock on your pill. This is why I always tell people, never assume waking up at night is just getting older. Sometimes it's a side effect. Sometimes it's something you can adjust. And if Linda had known this sooner, she could have saved herself months of restless nights. Now think about yourself. Have you started a new medication recently? Do you take a pill in the evening without really knowing what it does? it might be worth checking. Because remember, the goal isn't just lowering blood pressure or reducing swelling. The goal is your overall well-being, and that includes your ability to sleep through the night. So, that's mistake number 2, taking diuretics at the wrong time. Correct that, and you may find yourself sleeping like you used to. But we're not finished. Because even if your water habits are right, even if your medications are perfectly timed, there's another factor that almost no one thinks about. It's not what you drink, and it's not what you swallow in pill form. It's something inside your own body, a muscle you use every single day without even thinking about it. I'm talking about your bladder itself. Let's shift the focus inward now, to a part of your body you probably never give much thought to: your bladder itself. You see, just like your arms, your legs, even your back muscles, your bladder is a muscle too. And like any muscle, if it doesn't get used properly, if it doesn't stay strong, it can weaken with age. And when it does, you pay the price every single night. Take Robert, for example. Robert is 75, a proud grandfather and Navy veteran. Every Sunday morning, he's the first one to show up at church, smiling, shaking hands, setting up chairs. But every night, like clockwork, Robert would wake up at 2 a.m. and again at 4:30, stumbling to the bathroom in the dark. For years, he thought, well, this is just part of getting older. Nothing I can do about it. But during a routine checkup, his doctor ran some bladder tests and gave him surprising news. Robert, the doctor said, your bladder muscles are losing strength. They're not emptying completely, and they're sending your brain mixed signals. Think about that for a moment. A weak bladder muscle doesn't just mean you pee more often. It means you don't fully empty your bladder when you go. That leftover urine builds up. And when your body is calm and still at night, suddenly it realizes, wait, there's more fluid here. And boom, you're jolted awake with that urgent need to go again. Inside your abdomen is a powerful muscle called the detrusor. Its job is to contract and squeeze the bladder so it empties properly. But with age, this muscle can lose elasticity. And here's something a lot of seniors do. Without realizing they're making it worse, they hold it in during the day. Maybe they don't want to make too many trips to the bathroom while running errands. Maybe they've trained themselves to think going less often makes their bladder stronger. But the truth is the opposite. Holding it in doesn't strengthen your bladder, it confuses it. Over time, your bladder starts ignoring those early signals. It stretches, it weakens, and the communication between bladder and brain gets scrambled. The result? Mixed messages and sudden urges at night when you least expect them. So what can you do about it? The good news is that muscles, even bladder muscles, can be retrained and strengthened. One of the simplest methods is called timed voiding. It just means making a habit of going to the bathroom at regular intervals during the day, every 2 to 3 hours, even if you don't feel the urge right away. By doing this, you reset the pattern. You teach your bladder to operate on a healthy rhythm again. And here's something even more effective: pelvic floor exercises. Yes, even for men. These are gentle movements designed to strengthen the muscles that support your bladder and help control flow. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. You just need a bit of focus and consistency. Start small, a few squeezes a couple of times a day, and over weeks and months, the difference can be remarkable. Think of it this way: if you stopped walking entirely for 6 months, your legs would weaken. The same is true for your bladder. It needs use, training, and attention. And the stronger it is, the more control you regain. So if you've been waking up every night thinking, I guess this is just how it is now, I want you to remember Robert. He thought the same thing until he learned that his bladder wasn't the enemy, It was just a muscle that needed a little care. Now, we've talked about water. We've talked about medications. We've talked about bladder strength. But there's another factor, one that sneaks in quietly through the foods we eat, and it has a surprising power to send you running to the bathroom at night. I'm talking about salt. Now let's talk about something so ordinary, so everyday, that most people never connect it to their sleepless nights. I'm talking about salt. That's right, the very same salt you sprinkle on your dinner, or the hidden sodium packed inside snacks and convenience foods. For many seniors, salt is the silent trigger that keeps the bladder working overtime when the body should be resting. Let me share Helen's story. Helen is 70, lives on her own, still sharp as a tack, and she enjoys her evening routine. After dinner, she settles into her favorite recliner, turns on an old Matlock rerun, and treats herself to something salty. Maybe a handful of peanuts, maybe a bowl of canned soup if she doesn't feel like cooking. Nothing outrageous, just a little snack. But what Helen didn't realize was that those innocent snacks were quietly setting her bladder up for an all-nighter. Here's why. Salt pulls water into your bloodstream. It tells your body to hold on to fluids. That's why after eating something salty, you might notice puffy fingers, swollen ankles, or just a heavy feeling. During the day, your body is retaining all that fluid. But when you lie down at night, your circulation shifts, your blood pressure drops, and your body decides it's time to flush it all out. Your kidneys go into action, your bladder fills up, and suddenly it's 2:18 in the morning, and you're making another bathroom trip. Now here's the tricky part. Everyone knows salt raises blood pressure. That's old news. But very few people realize that eating salty foods in the evening directly contributes to nighttime urination, a condition doctors call nocturia. And salt hides in more places than you think. Sure, you taste it in chips or pretzels. But what about canned soups, frozen dinners, store-bought sauces, cheese, even that so-called healthy, low-fat cottage cheese? They can all pack a surprising sodium punch. So, what can you do? Don't worry, you don't have to give up all your favorites. It's not about eliminating salt completely. It's about being mindful of when and how much you eat. Here's a simple test. After 6 p.m., take a look at your food. Does it come from a package? Does it have a long shelf life? If so, chances are it has more sodium than your bladder bargained for. Try making a small switch. Instead of that bag of salted peanuts, go for unsalted nuts. Instead of canned soup, try a fresh salad, a piece of fruit, or some plain yogurt, a banana, apple slices, or even a handful of fresh berries can satisfy that evening craving without sending you to the bathroom all night long. And here's another tip. If you do eat something salty during the day, make sure you're drinking enough water earlier morning and afternoon to help your body flush it out before bedtime. That way, by the time you're ready to sleep, your system isn't overloaded. These small adjustments might not seem like much. Swapping a snack here, changing a habit there. But they add up. Less salt in the evening means less fluid retention, and that means fewer emergency bathroom trips while the rest of the world is asleep. Now at this point, we've looked at hydration, medications, bladder strength, and diet. But there's still one more piece to this puzzle, something deeper that goes beyond habits and choices. It's a natural change in the body that comes with age, and it plays a huge role in how often you wake up at night. It has to do with hormones specifically, a hormone you used to have plenty of, but now, not so much. Let's talk about it. Now we come to the final piece of the puzzle. Even if you drink your water at the right times, even if your medications are perfectly scheduled, even if your bladder is strong and your evening meals are low in salt, there's something else happening inside your body that you can't fully control. It's the natural decline of a hormone called ADH, or anti-diuretic hormone. Let me tell you about Thomas. Thomas is 66, a retired firefighter who still meets his old crew every Friday night to play dominoes. He's always been proud of how deeply he could sleep. His wife used to joke that he could snooze through a thunderstorm. But lately, almost every night without fail, Thomas finds himself waking up at 1 in the morning, and again at 4, making his way to the bathroom. At first he thought, maybe I'm drinking too much. But he wasn't. Then he thought, maybe it's my diet. But that wasn't it either. Finally, after some research, he learned the truth. It wasn't something he was doing wrong. It was his hormones. Here's what ADH does. During the night, this hormone tells your kidneys to slow down, to conserve water, and to produce less urine. It's the reason you could drink a glass of water at night when you were younger and still sleep straight through until morning. But as we age, our bodies naturally produce less ADH. And with less of this hormone, your kidneys don't get the message. They keep filtering. They keep filling your bladder, and no matter how careful you are, your body wakes you up. This isn't a failure on your part. It's not a flaw. It's simply biology. And while we can't flip a switch to restore ADH production, we can work with it. That's why everything we've already talked about matters so much. Timing your fluids, adjusting your medications, strengthening your bladder, cutting down on evening salt, and keeping a consistent sleep routine. These are the tools you can control. The small changes that help counterbalance the hormone decline you can't. And this is where I want to pause and remind you, this whole conversation isn't just about urination. It's about freedom. It's about energy. It's about protecting your independence. Because when your sleep is broken night after night, the consequences ripple through every part of your life. Think about it. A poor night's sleep doesn't just make you tired. It makes you slower on your feet. It clouds your memory. It leaves you more likely to forget things, to trip, to stumble. And for many older adults, one fall can change everything. It can take away mobility, confidence, and the independence you've worked so hard to maintain. But here's the hopeful part. You now understand what most people your age don't. You've uncovered the hidden mistake loading water intake late in the day. You've seen how medications, especially diuretics, can quietly sabotage your nights. You've learned how weak bladder muscles can be retrained, how salt can sneak in and undo your progress, and how hormones shift with age in ways we can manage but not stop. When you put all these pieces together, you gain something powerful: control. No, you don't have to fix everything overnight. No, you don't need to be perfect. But imagine the impact of just one small change. Moving that evening glass of water to the afternoon. Asking your doctor if your blood pressure pill is a diuretic. Choosing fresh fruit over salty snacks. Practicing a few pelvic floor exercises before bed. Each of these steps is simple, but together they stack up into something bigger, peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. And that kind of rest isn't just a luxury. It's a foundation for everything else you value: your memory, your balance, your mood, your independence. It means waking up clearer, steadier, calmer. It means moving through your day with energy instead of exhaustion. It means reclaiming a part of life you may have thought was gone forever. So let me ask you, which of these insights surprised you the most? Was it the timing of your water? The hidden role of medications? The way your bladder can be retrained? Or maybe the fact that something as simple as evening salt could keep you awake at night? Share your experience in the comments. You'd be amazed how many others are struggling with the same thing, and your story might be the key that helps them connect the dots. And if this video gave you even one aha moment, if you're thinking differently about your evening routine right now, I hope you'll join us here at the Elder's Guide. This channel isn't about vague advice, it's about practical, honest, and empowering guidance for seniors and their families. Because you deserve more than restless nights. You deserve clarity, energy, strength, and the confidence that comes from truly understanding your body. So tap that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if it helped you, and share it with someone you care about who might be losing sleep and not even know why. And before we close, let me say this. Thank you. Thank you for caring enough about yourself to keep learning. Thank you for being open to change. And thank you for joining me on this journey to live smarter, healthier, and stronger, no matter your age. Tonight, as you prepare for bed, remember, every small choice you make is a step toward better rest. Every habit you shift brings you closer to peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. And with that sleep comes a better tomorrow, clearer, steadier, brighter. So rest well, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.